Alright guys, so we have a lost sector in today's video, which was supposed to be really hard for me to find, and I don't know if I just got really lucky when we were up there at Bungie, but I instantly found it. And then we have the public event itself, which is a heroic gate lord. Now, this of course can be a normal gate lord, but we actually figured out how to unlock heroic, which was actually pretty cool. So you'll continue to watch this gameplay and see how it's done. If you need a walkthrough on that one, I'm sure I can spell it out for you, but it's pretty straightforward from the gameplay, what you see right here. Essentially though, all you have to do is just do the same thing that you do for the regular normal public event. It's just once you get teleported to the platform above that you're going to see here in just a second, you want to pop some crystals that spawn up that's going to be behind you, and every time you pop one of those crystals, a little platform will come out of nowhere, which is such a cool fucking aspect. I love the Vex, man. The Vex are so cool. Now let's talk about the Lighthouse as a social space real quick. So I thought the whole idea of putting the Lighthouse as a social space is a great idea, because there were so many people in D1 that never made it to the Lighthouse. So this is their time to actually get there, see what it was like. Now of course it's different, but not only that, there's the other side of the Lighthouse, which is what I always wanted to visit. You know, when you went to the Lighthouse in D1, you crawled all through it, man. I mean, you were all down below, all up under it, trying to glitch yourself off the map, trying to figure out different ways to get inside of the place. And that was because we wanted to see, you know, what else is here on Mercury. So to throw in the patrol zone to be there on Mercury was really cool. Now, you can't use a sparrow here on this patrol zone. What was really cool was there was a ring that went all the way around the entire patrol zone. And essentially the ring starts off like you killing, and you could start it off anywhere pretty much. But when you see like two Vex standing around a ring, if you kill them, the ring will suddenly start glowing. And once it starts glowing, you jump into that ring. And essentially what ends up happening is you will be able to just kind of just pretty much fly almost all the way around the map through these rings. They'll just continuously keep teleporting you all the way around, and I guess is one way to travel. And then as soon as you get to like the side of the map that you want to be at, or you know, you can jump out. What I did actually was like I kept doing that until I found like one of those bosses that spawn, you know what I mean? And so I just continuously kept doing that, and that was like a great way, like if you ever want to look for like anything else in the future, maybe some chests, maybe some lost sectors, because it really is an easy way to kind of just drift all the way around the map. Now, we cannot show you gameplay of the Infinite Forest or gameplay of the strikes. First and foremost, let's talk about the Infinite Forest. The Infinite Forest has so many different paths that it can be. Like, there's so many things they could do with the Infinite Forest that what we got to mess with, I feel like it's only scratching the surface. The Infinite Forest is not something that I feel like it's going to be just with this DLC, just given the fact that it is what it is, and the fact that it's past, present, future. I don't see it being something like the Taken King or something like Archon's Forge, and then afterward we never really mess around with it. I feel like this is something that could continuously be built on in the future. And so, you know, and maybe Infinite Forest could possibly become like an access port for different raids, because, you know, the thing about raids is, you know, you normally have to put up a whole new social area, but if you made everything instant based through one specific area, I feel like you can just continuously keep building off of that. Now let's talk about the strikes. The strikes themselves, man, in this game are so good. I see so much being put into them mechanically, artistically, and the sad part is there's just no real huge incentive to do them over a public event. Again, there could be strike specific loot that I may have missed. Now, we can't disclose the loot. We can't disclose any of the weapons or show you any of the weapons that we received. Now, I think for strikes, I think they like cut off gear rewards for us. So there was nothing I can actually see at the end of those strikes. So if we are ever going to get kind of a resurfacing of strikes in the future, there's going to have to be some sort of strike specific loot. I mean, there's going to have to be a Grass and Malak or an Amaga loot, something along those lines to make you go, oh shit, I need to freaking get out there and get that, or that Tread Upon Stars, or whatever it is. Speaking of weapons, talking about some of the guns that I was able to play with, and there was some cool ass guns, you might actually see a sniper. I don't know if I can actually put this in the gameplay or not, but there was a sniper that I picked up. Without a doubt, it's going to be the Black Spindle of Destiny 2. It is good, guys. I'm not saying it has the black nail or white nail perk that Spindle has. It's just the archetype of which it falls under. It will replace, I think, just about every major DPS weapon in PvE. I'm not even a PvE player, but I recognize how great of a weapon it is. Just imagine impact of Borealis and everything to maintain your magazine and ammo economy there. So just keep that in mind. Think of those perks. I'll try to see if I can throw in a little bit of gameplay of that. But it's a fabulous sniper that I didn't really get to mess with it too much because it requires, like, of course, that would be a sniper for one set boss versus like dealing with ads. And a lot of the stuff that I was killing on patrol was dealing with ads. It was definitely a gun purely designed. I remember I came out and I talked to some of the devs about it. And I was like, I'm super impressed with that gun. That's awesome because it's a sniper completely designed for dealing with single targets like big bosses and strikes or raid bosses or maybe even public event bosses. But definitely for those raid bosses when we start having those static boss fights where the boss just sits there, something like Callus, you know what I mean? And so, guys, I was super pleased with that sniper. Now, as far as the rest of the weapons go, I mean, a lot of these are like normal weapons that we picked up throughout Destiny 2 so far. So there wasn't many guns outside of PvP that we were able to mess with that were weapons specific to this expansion. And unfortunately, I still can't talk about PvP just yet. Or at least I don't think I can. Let me check. Nope, I gotta wait till November 29th to talk about Crucible. But good thing is we'll be able to talk everything about Crucible. And Crucible was super fun, man. I actually got matched up with, I can't remember if Mesa was in our group or not. But I know Dr. Lupo was in it, and so was JMP. So, and we weren't like on the same team. Like we were going against each other. It was mix matching it up. So really cool shit, man. Had a great time doing the PvP. So very much looking forward to talking about PvP, the weapons, the quality of Crucible, especially since we were all playing in the same room, and how the response rate was. And of course talking about specifically the weapons, because my concern was like we were going to get introduced to a bunch of new weapons because, you know, you need something to offset the fact that we don't have as many guns as we had in D1. I know we have more guns, but in D1 we had so many different variables for those weapons. And so I was worried that they were just going to like just dump off a bunch of weapons, but I could tell immediately that the guns themselves were very well thought out. And some of the weapons, especially the power weapons, they put our power weapons in D2 right now that we currently have just a fucking shame. And it blows my mind because it's like I look at the stats and I'm like, okay, this looks okay, but I mean, surely it's not. And then all of a sudden it does some crazy shit and maps somebody 50 meters away. So like there's definitely been thought put into these weapons that I'm counting the days down till we get to the 29th, guys, and we can really talk about Crucible PvP. If anything changes, I'll be able to talk about that more in depth and go over that. Guys, thank you so much for coming and watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all later.
Vex mind has turned its thoughts toward our present reality. You are truly worthy to walk in Osiris's footsteps. Hello, Guardian. Death is not the end.